Hello everyone, this is Dr. Divya Madan from soulfullivingllc.com, your metaphysical counselor and healer. And today we are on chapter 18, the concluding chapter of Gita. The timeless wisdom and the leadership that we are talking about. So this timeless wisdom on leadership and spirituality. So how to lead your life. We have been discussing for last 17 chapters that how one should lead their life. So, how to lead your life, how to lead your life which will take you to the Krishna consciousness while you're still in life and even beyond. So we are not talking about attaining moksha after death or something. It is what we need to do as of now. And we have seen lots of like Krishna bhakts and lots of temples are out there, and people have devoted their life. They change their clothes, they just shave their heads. But here we have to understand what Gita is all about. And in this chapter 18, it is basically the summary of what we have learned in all those 17 chapters. So again, Arjuna is asking, hey Krishna, can you please tell me the difference between Sannyas and tyag? So Sannyas is like a renunciation and tyag is sacrifice. So he said, what is the difference between these two? Like your tyag means you're sacrificing something or you're leaving something. So what is the difference between these two? So Bhagavan says that people think sannyas is basically renunciation of desires. So they think that whatever we do, if it is motivated by desire, then we have to leave it. Whereas tyag is renunciation. You have done your karma and you have given the fruit of your karma to the Krishna. So again and again Krishna is talking about karmayog. I have never seen him saying, yes, bhakti is important, doing chanting is important, doing sadhana is important. And he said three things that we can accumulate good deeds are Gyan, coming from the yajna, dan and tap. So Gyan means knowledge, yajna means how to connect with the divine, dan means doing some kind of, like when you give something to poor or the needy, so those kind of dan or any kind of seva, like even if you give your time and even if you give your like labor, whatever you give as which is nishkam, for which you have not charged, you're giving, like you're feeding the poor or you're helping somebody with their school. So this is like dan, okay? And tap means the tapasya that you need to meditate. So these are the three things which can accumulate good deeds for you. But he also talks about 4 varnas. 4 varnas is not caste. It is about if you're a Brahman, or means that if you choose to study spiritual scriptures or become a teacher, then you come into the category of Brahman. If you choose to go into army or fight for your country, then you come into the category of shtriy. If you choose to do business, then you come into the category of vaishya. If you want to do the service, and service means anybody who is doing like clerk, accountant, doctor, engineer, anybody who is into service, who takes salary, comes under shudra. So it is not divided upon It is not like a caste system that a Brahman son is going to be Brahman or Shudra son is going to be Shudra. It is not like that. Whatever you choose to do. Okay. So here, what is the job of a warrior, or what is the job of an army man? If somebody is in army, he goes onto the border, there is an enemy on the other side, and he finds like one of the enemy, the person in the other side of the army is his friend. What is he going to do? What is his dharma at that time? Should defend the country or should defend his friend or family? The answer is clear. We have seen in the games also, like there are like two teams, and maybe there are chances that the players, opponents are siblings. We have seen in tennis, right? These Williams sisters. What is their dharma at that time? Play their games or just surrender to each other? They play their game. May the best one win. So he is constantly talking about whatever work, whatever job you are given, do it with honesty. Here you are not doing friend, family kind of business. Your job is to, whatever is given to you. You cannot play favoritism. If you're a teacher and you have it like your son or daughter is sitting in your class, you cannot do favor. Whatever in the exam the results are, you cannot put extra marks in their grade. It is not advisable, rather it is not the right thing to do. So in simple words, we have talked about Rajasic, Tamasic, Sattvic. So I feel that most of you understand that what is Sattva. Sattvic is your intention. Why are you doing it? If it is laced by desire, if it is for the universal good, then it's a Sattvic. But if it is laced with desire, then it's Rajasic. And if it is laced with harming somebody, then it's Tamasic. We talked about diet. We talked about how we work. So overall, in my understanding, that we have to come to the state of Sat Chit Anand. So although all the wisdom that has come to us, every time Krishna is constantly saying in Gita that I am the doer. Do not take the doership on yourself, because every act you will do, it will have some kind of vitiation, right? Whatever I do, 100% it is Sattvic, it's not always possible. So for any human being, it is always advisable that they give the fruit of whatever they have done to the Krishna consciousness, connect to the light. Whatever I have done today, whatever I have spoken today, goes back to Krishna. So now how do you do your work? So as I said, if you are in army and you are fighting with an enemy country, enemy's army is there, you have to do the work without attachment or aversion. Neither you have to get attached, neither you have to get detached. Just do your work with utmost sincerity. We also talked about the Sattvic Gunas. What are the Sattvic Guna? Yes, it is finesse, chastity, honesty, kindness, compassion, all of this. But when you are in the battlefield, can you be compassionate and kind and just leave your enemy, not do your work? So this is all contextual. All these things, like when you have to give compassion, is also contextual. If you are getting beaten up, you are not going to show compassion at that time. You have to save yourself. Even animals have instinct to hide themselves when they see a predator, right? At that time, you do not show compassion and just be in the front of the mouth of the predator. Go, come, eat me. No, you don't do that. So yes, while you have, your intent is all pure, all good, but the compassion has to be practiced for yourself as well. If we have to forgive others, we have to let go other things, we need to learn to forgive ourselves too and learn from our mistake. It's not that you bad-mouthed somebody and then I forgive myself and then you again do it. Right? So every action is performed by mind, body, and speech. So action is done by the body, mind directs, and you talk about it, you communicate. So these actions are, in behind of it, there are 5 things which motivates these 3 actions. So what are those 5 operations that needs to be accomplished to have our action to come to the completeness? So Krishna is talking about that one is body. Then there is mind who helps to do things. And then you have organs in the body who perform certain actions. So organ and its different functions. And the last of it is like Daiva. So the Daiva means the consciousness within those actions. So every organ we have in our body has a certain level of consciousness, right? So your body is directed by the mind, and then whatever action has to be performed by the organ and associated karmendriya, like the action taking parts of your body and innate consciousness. So these are the 5 things which helps to manifest the action in the form of 3 things. In the form of the 3 things, which is mind, speech, and action. So we have talked about, so let me just explain it further because it is a little confusing and I feel that it needs to be explained further. So we have to control so any action we will be able to do it in completeness if our mind, our body, and the alignment to the purpose is in sync. So if my organ is functioning perfectly all right, if my senses are working all right, then only my mind, body, and the purpose will be in sync. And let's proceed further. Probably it will bring it more clarity. So we talked about 3 yogas: Sankhya Yoga, we talked about the Bhakti Yoga, and we also talked about Jnana Yoga, Karmayog, and Bhakti Yoga. So Sankhya is the Jnana Yoga. Then we talked about Karmayog, and we also talked about the Bhakti Yoga. So these are the 3 things which has been taught continuously in Gita, that you need to have wisdom in order to perform your actions. And when you perform your actions in your totality, that is bhakti. Wisdom, when action has wisdom involved in it, then it becomes the bhakti. That is what is worship. We have heard the phrase work is worship, right? But work, until it is laced with the complete awareness of it, complete knowledge of it, till then your work is not going to be worship. It will be half-baked work. Is it clear to you guys now? that all these steps that we have been talking about continuously, karmayog, renounce it, the fruit of action to the Bhagwan or the Krishna consciousness, give it back, everything. And then when we are talking about not getting attached, it can only come to you because you have the right wisdom. So wisdom means what? Now, if someone is a surgeon, or anybody is a painter or a doctor or an engineer, they need to have the complete wisdom of their trade. How it will come? It will come with the being with a teacher, practicing by themselves, right? Learning and practicing. So when they become like better and better and better in their trade, they get better and better. When they start seeing the subtleness of their work, and then the quality of work will become better and better and better and better. And the more they devote themselves into the craft or whatever they are working on, they become perfectionists. Like slowly the perfection will start coming, until there will be a point that there's hardly any chance of making any mistake. They have become the master themselves, right? So when they become master, when you become one with that thing, either you're a doctor or a painter or a whatever, when you are one with that work that you're doing, there's no difference between the two. That is yoga. That is yoga. And when you are fully concentrated into something, at that time you are in the state of sattva, because you have mastered your art. When you feel fulfilled and satisfied, that's when you know that your work is done right. And when your work is done right, you get filled with gratitude. When you get filled with gratitude, then you become one with the divine wisdom. And that is where your bhakti happens. I'll give you guys a few minutes to absorb it. So we talked about going from the Gyan to the karma to the bhakti. So this is the part of the sattva. Now understand Raj and Tamasic, so that you can understand when you're working, whatever you're working on has become Rajasic or Tamasic. Okay. So when you are working on something and somebody criticizes you, and you immediately become angry or defensive or upset or sad, because you were attaching yourself to the desire, that you had an expectation, and when the expectation was not met, the desire was not fulfilled, you feel deviated. So those actions are Rajasic. To turn it into and then you go further into fight or something like that, it immediately becomes Tamasic. Or like people who are like dealing with stuff which is going to do most harms, or like taking, like the people who are in business, they should charge, they should take profit, right, for the work they're doing, but when they go exorbitantly high, or they use means to create unnecessarily like a demand and supply gaps, then those are like wrongdoings, is not acceptable in any form. Now coming back to, if you have a desire to do something and you're feeling that somebody is pushing you back continuously, or causing block, or not communicating the way you would like to your client to communicate with you, or your manager to work with you, what you need to do at that time? You are doing your level best, but it is not the best for the party opposite to you. What you are going to do? You are in your sattva. You do not want to fight with anyone. You want to give your level best, but you see people are twisting your arms. So what do we do? Again, think of the dharma. What the army person has to do when he is on the border and he is facing the enemy from the other side. He has to fight. Right? That is why this is your work, and you will not, will that person who's that armyman will not allow the other enemy come and twist his arms. He will not. He will retaliate, he will react, he will do whatever is his job. Similarly, you will do whatever is your job. If you have to negotiate, you have to talk, you have to bring out papers, whatever is needed to be done, you have to do it without getting attached and detached. So the key is that, yes, we all do that, right? But the key is that when you are performing those actions, your center should not move here or there. You are not thinking bad about that person. You're not saying that person is bad or this person is difficult. Yes, this is a situation, and we have to tackle this situation. So instead of getting worried, anxious, losing sleep, losing appetite, getting nervous, you will just come to your center and do whatever is necessary for you to do. And then that work becomes sattvic. If you, while you are doing whatever I'm talking about, it's a common sense. Everybody will do that. But on the top of it, if you add your emotions, which is tamasic, then that action becomes from rajasic to tamasic. But the moment you just stay quiet and your intent is to save your work, save your business, save yourself, or whatever is to protect the sanctity of your work, you will do that with full honesty, full integrity, and full force, with full concentration. Then it will become sattvic. So it is a very practical advice, because most of the diseases we have has a stress factor. People who are more stressed is prone to get immunity related issues, all those problems. Some of you are doctors here, and you all know that how stress plays big role in people's life, in their issues in their lives. Anybody who's suffering from cancer, at least I know so many people who have been suffering from cancer, and when I heard their story, what happened, all of them had some kind of stress going. All of them. Even a cold, when you get a cold, 6 days, just go few days before that, what was happening, and you will definitely find one of the days was that you were very upset about something, maybe angry. Anger is the worst. Anger is the worst. If you got really angry on somebody, there are very good chances of you getting some kind of disease, be it cold, be it cough, be it headache, be it something else. So be watchful. That is what I am trying to tell you guys. So some tamasic characteristics, again, it is discussed in this shloka. One of the shlokas is very that lacking pity and self-control, uncultured, arrogant, deceitful, inclined to rob others of their livelihood, slothful, despondent, procrastinators. These are all tamasic properties. So we are now very well aware that what is tamasic, what is rajasic, and what is sattvic properties. So then Krishna also talks about buddhi, which is intellect, and dhriti, which is perseverance or firmness, like the pratyahar, like when you just firmly believe on something and you do it. So what you believe in, right? So belief is like I have to serve the mankind, versus like we did talk about 3 different kinds of even belief, like religious beliefs also, that everybody be happy, or everybody who is not believing in my religion is not good enough, or if somebody does not believe in my religion, they should be destroyed completely. So these are different kinds of even religious belief, right? So dhriti is like whatever your belief system is, right? It could be sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic as well. And buddhi, the intellect, can be also, if it is like when you are thinking from your third eye and on your crown, when you are like thinking from heart and above, then it is intellectual. But when your intelligence goes down into your, when this you say gut feeling, right? This is my gut feeling. Then it is coming from your fear. The bottom of your spine is Muladhara, fear, greed, stability issue. Swadhisthana, water, relationships. Manipur, desire, passion. So if you are thinking from the below the heart chakras, then it would be coming from, not from the buddhi, but from the ego. So at the almost we are coming towards the end of Gita, and these are like the things which will bring you joy always. In the state of joy is again, which we have been talking about, sadhana, seva, satsang, right? Sadhana, seva, satsang. So that is what I have been preaching throughout, and this is the last chapter where he's saying, Krishna is saying that seva or dan is one and the same thing, okay? Sadhana and tap is one and the same thing. And satsang means do not just belittle someone, always be in good company, so that people are talking about projects, not discussing people, right? If me and you are talking, it's like how we can grow ourselves, what projects we do. Then we do not talk about people. And if we do talk about people, then it becomes tamasic, rajasic, or talking behind. It's not a good character. We can discuss situations, but we should not discuss or badmouth people behind their back. We can discuss situations, that how to react or respond to these situations, but thinking of ill or talking ill is not correct. So sadhana, seva, satsang, always be in good company, always talk good, always see good in others as much as possible. Your only actions or response or reaction should be based on what you are given to work on. So towards the end, I feel that we should just this whole thing came from what we have already learned before. We have been practicing it before. So the end of the Gita is all about how Arjuna got ready to fight, okay? Because that was his shtriy dharma. That was his dharma, that was his duty. So there are a couple of incidences where people talked about that Krishna should not have asked to kill Arjun or till Karna, not Arjun, Karna, when he was changing the wheel of his chariot and he was killed from the back. And people thought that was a dharma. That was a dharma. No, that was not a dharma. That was the duty of Arjuna at that time. When all of the people got together and killed Abhimanyu, then they did not talk horse about why it was a dharma. Then why it is a dharma when you are getting killed in a little wrongful way. So, the crux of Gita is do your duty with utmost devotion. Renounce the fruit of your action to the Supreme Consciousness. Stay in your center. Do not attach, do not detach. No attraction, no aversion. And finally, staying in the state of Sat Chitanand means like always in true happiness is stay with the truth. Always support a dharma. Then only your chitta will be quiet and you will be experiencing the joy from within. Then it will be not from outside. Let me explain it to you one more time. People who lie, they have to constantly manipulate it, because if they have lied once, they have to be very careful to lie it every time, because they might have said something to one person, oh, next time they have to constantly remember it. I'll just give you a very simple example. If somebody asks your age, and people, like most of the time, people tend to not tell their accurate age. They'll say like 2 years younger or 2 years like less, right? Now, if you lie today, next time, you don't know. You might change it. Like this time you have just made yourself 5 years younger. Or next time you have made yourself 2 years younger. So your version will keep changing. Or maybe you bought something and somebody asks, oh, what's the price? And people are like, if you don't want to tell, oh, you can just say, I don't remember at this time, I have to check. That is still, I would say, better than giving a wrong information. I don't say that's like you remember it, still you don't want to tell it. But at least you are like, or you have just stopped. You have not given the information. That is still better than giving a wrong information. But I would say stay truthful as much as you can. And when I am saying all of this, it's just for the ideal situation. Like you have to be driving in your lane. But what if somebody is standing in that lane? Then you have to turn around and go around it, right? But you will go around it while looking at both the sides, making sure that nothing else is coming in that lane. And then, so ideal situation is stay in your lane. But if the situation changes, then make sure that you check with your consciousness that what your action is in accordance with your innate wisdom or intelligence. So I would like all of you to come up with situations in your life so that when we are ending it today, so this whole thing was narrated by, so Krishna gave this wisdom to Arjun and Sanjay was listening to it, and also he had like clairvoyance and clairaudience both. It was given to him by Vyasa Muni. So we have to thank to not only Bhagwan Krishna but Arjun for asking these difficult questions, and those wisdom that we have gotten today will make us lead our life like constant. There will be constant reminder to us that our action has to be in accordance and coherence with what we believe. Because when we will be conflicted, there will be stress generated in our body, and the stress will lead to various kind of not only physical diseases, but it could be emotional disease, it could be spiritual disease, it could be financial disease as well. So we have to be careful with what action, what response, anything we are doing, it has a self-control. And the control will come from where? When your breath is in control, and the breath controls your mind. So when your mind is in control, you're not allowing your mind to wander wherever. So when your chit is in sat, means sattvic, chit is your mind, mental plane. So when the sat meets your mental plane, which is in accordance with what we have learned, then we lead to the state called Anand, which is internal peace or joy or happiness or bliss. Okay, so it was like a very, and Sanjay was very happy that he learned this information directly coming from Krishna's mouth, and he delivered it as is to Dhritarashtra. So all these 5 characters are responsible to bring this infinite knowledge, and Sanjay kept repeating that in his mind, the information. He was like wowed by the information that he had learned. He was so happy, and he was like, I am so blessed to listen this secret wisdom. Now you all can feel that how blessed you are to even listen to it. And this information is everywhere. But what we did today, I am sure that it has got ingrained in your mind, ingrained in your every pore of your body. And every time your thought goes from here to there, you will be able to bring it back. Moving forward, every criticism, you will just sit back, think through it. What this criticism is trying to teach me? Which door I have to make it stronger? What traits I have to develop? What knowledge I have to gain? Because whenever you feel bad about something, 101% that is your weak spot. So we will just close our eyes, breathe in, breathe out, connect to your divine healing bowl above your crown. Let the light from the highest of the highest Supreme Krishna consciousness falling into the sun, and it's now falling into your healing bowl. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Now see your healing bowl is filled with divine golden light. Praying to Ma Saraswati that all the wisdom that we have learned stay stored in our healing bowl, so, and which is connected to our conscious and subconscious mind both. Have the golden light fall into your crown chakra. This is our opportunity to find out. Just put a screen in front of you and write down 3 traits that you want to improve upon right now. What makes you angry or upset or sad? 3 things. 1, three things that makes you lose your center. So these 3 things brings you in the state of tamas, right? Now we come on to the third eye. Connect to your intellect. These are your 3 weak spots. So connect to your wisdom and pick the number 1. What you need to do in that situation. Your intellect will start guiding you right now. If you do not find what you can do about it, give it to Krishna. Number 2, what is another thing that bothers you or makes you lose your center, makes you angry or upset? Now go to your third issue. If you found the answer, fine. If you haven't, again, give it to Krishna. Come to your throat chakra. In your mind, read your problems loudly, like in your mind. Again, read those 3 problems, vocalize it. I accept I have these 3 situations which takes my center. I cannot respond to it, I react. I get angry or upset. One, two, three. If you have solutions, repeat the solutions. Now, you have read your problem and your solution that has come to your mind. Come to the heart and assign which problem is associated with karmayog, which problem is associated with the bhakti yoga, and which problem is associated with the jnana yoga. Where you are lacking. Are you lacking in your wisdom, or you are lacking in your concentration, or you are lacking into your style of working? What you have to improve upon. Then we move to the Manipur chakra. While you are giving all your issues into the fruit of Krishna, you assign to Krishna, still you have made your action plans. So, we are activating the Manipur chakra, the fire energy, and everything is an issue, and whatever is the solution, we are healing that part so that you have the energy to accomplish it. Swadhisthana. Change your thoughts from these things are causing me to lose my center. Just make it like these things, all these three things that you have noted. Just tell yourself that you have wonderful relationship with, maybe if it's your employees, then say it with my employees. If it's with your manager, say it's with my manager. If it's your spouse, say I have wonderful relationship with the associated situation and people. And come to like one, whatever is the issue and associated people or situation. I am having a wonderful relationship with the person. I am having a wonderful relationship with the second problem. I have wonderful relationship. What was it? and then come to the Muladhara chakra, the root. All your issues is with Krishna. You know everything will get resolved. We have to keep making honest effort. Rest assured that Supreme Consciousness will take 10 steps to support your one step. And that is how you will 10x your success. Wherever you are, your life will become 10 times better. It will become better and better and better and better and better, at least 10, 15 times better, if you just follow what we have learned. You feel joy inside your heart, inside your root, inside your throat, inside your third eye, inside your crown. And your whole body, like both the legs are filled with light. Every cell is dancing with joy. There's nothing to be worried about. All your worries, all your issues, all your problems has been given to the Supreme Consciousness, the Divine Shri Krishna. Touching the Krishna consciousness. Om Namo Narayana, 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 Om Namo Narayana. Om Namo Narayana, Narayana, Om Namo Narayana, Om Namo Narayana. With that, we pray lots of gratitude to the knowledge, the wisdom, to the Bhagavad Gita. To Saraswati and all the divine energies. Vasudeva, Krishna, Arjuna, Sanjay, Dhritarashtra, Maharishi Vyas, and everybody who participated in Mahabharata. Whether they were on the side of Kaurav or Pandav, they all contributed to this divine wisdom coming to the earth. So thanks to all the divine energies, all those energies who made this possible. Every book, every author, every narrator who made this possible, we are thanking all of them. And we thank our ancestors, our pitris, our parents, for their good deeds have manifested in us, and we are able to listen to the divine wisdom of Bhagavatam. And let's pray for everyone now. Let's close the session today with the divine prayer. Sarve bhavantu sukhina, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantuh, ma kasyat dukha bhag bhavet. Om lokaha samastah sukhinah bhavantu. May all be happy, may all be blessed. Namah Shivaya. Jai Shri Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna. Wrap your hands, touch your face, and slowly open your eyes. Thank you, everyone, for this wonderful, beautiful meditation during me today. Thanks.